Picture this. Two wrestling legends who despise each other are about to share the same building for the first time in over 2 decades, and nobody knows what might happen. On Saturday, November 15th, 2025, wrestling history could be made at the Big Event Entertainment Sports Expo in Brentwood, New York, where both WWE Hall of Fame inductee Bret the Hitman Hart and former WCW powerhouse Goldberg will be making appearances. For those new to wrestling drama, this isn't just any ordinary fan meet and greet. This is potentially one of the most volatile celebrity encounters you'll ever witness under one roof. But here's where it gets controversial. These two wrestling superstars have been locked in a bitter, very real feud that makes most soap opera storylines look tame by comparison. The roots of this animosity stretch back to a fateful evening on December 19, 1999, during WCW's premier pay-per-view event, Starrcade. What was supposed to be just another championship match turned into a career-destroying nightmare that still haunts both men today. During their main event clash for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, Goldberg executed what should have been a routine thrust kick to Hart's head. However, the timing went disastrously wrong, and the impact delivered a devastating concussion that would change everything. For wrestling newcomers, it's important to understand that while professional wrestling is scripted entertainment, the physical risks are absolutely real. When moves go wrong, careers can end in an instant. And that's exactly what happened to one of wrestling's greatest technical masters. Hart, widely regarded as one of the most skilled wrestlers of all time, attempted to continue performing for several more weeks following the incident. However, the severity of it— imagine being at the peak of your profession with millions of dollars in future earnings ahead of you, only to have it all stripped away in one mistimed moment. And this is the part most people miss. Hart hasn't just moved on quietly into retirement. Instead, he spent over 2 decades publicly eviscerating Goldberg's reputation at every opportunity. In countless interviews, Hart has painted Goldberg as a reckless, unskilled performer who had no business being in a wrestling ring with seasoned professionals. Goldberg, to me, was one of the most unprofessional wrestlers there ever was in the business, Hart declared in one particularly scathing interview. He hurt everyone he ever worked with. You might as well wrestle a real gorilla. But here's where the controversy really heats up. Even as recently as 2022, Hart showed no signs of forgiveness or healing. I regret that I got injured by a guy that couldn't wrestle and has no business being in the Hall of Fame, he stated bluntly. You should be in the Hall of Shame. On the flip side, Goldberg has consistently maintained that the incident was purely accidental and has expressed genuine remorse for what happened. I kicked Bret Hart in the head on accident 100 years ago, and I've been remorseful ever since, Goldberg explained in a recent Jacob Sports interview. I was young in the business. People make mistakes, right? And people have to understand that. But here's the million-dollar question. How many apologies is enough? Goldberg has grown increasingly frustrated with Hart's relentless public criticism, feeling that he's done everything possible to make amends. I can only say I'm sorry so many times, and I can only be remorseful for so long, he stated. If he can't accept my apology, it is what it is. You gotta move on, and I've moved on. Now, picture the scene at the big event on November 15th. Both men will be stationed at the Suffolk Credit Union Arena, likely just hundreds of feet apart, signing autographs and taking photos with fans who have no idea they're witnessing wrestling history in the making. Will they acknowledge each other? Will there be a confrontation? Or will they maintain a cold, professional distance? The event itself promises to be a massive celebration of wrestling and entertainment culture. Alongside Hart and Goldberg, fans will have the opportunity to meet legendary figures including Sting, boxing icon Mike Tyson, and the enigmatic Great Muta. The roster reads like a who's who of sports entertainment, featuring current stars and retired legends from WWE, AEW, and TNA. The complete guest lineup showcases the incredible diversity of talent scheduled to appear. AJ Mendez, Swerve Strickland, Catherine Bach, Leah Van Dale, known to WWE fans as Carmella, Nick Nemeth, Bam Margera, Killer Cross, Scarlett Bordeaux, Jake the Snake Roberts, Cheryl Roberts, Tank Abbott, Shotzi, Priscilla Kelly, Prince Nana, Eric Blanchfield, Donovan Razor Ruddock, Dan Spivey, Jimmy Hart, Mike Chioda, Chris Van Vliet, Mina Shirakawa, Lacey Lane, Casey Catanzaro, Deonna Purrazzo, Layla L., Alicia Out, Lexi Nair, Arcady Ora, Isla Dawn, Thekla, Marina Shafir, Wheeler Yuta, Bishop Dyer, formerly Baron Corbin, Taz, Roderick Strong, Paul Ellering, Jackson Drake, Brad Taylor, Ricky Smokes, Emily J., Tasha Steeles, Kathy Dingman, Karen Maurer, the Rougeau Brothers, the Jumping Bomb Angels, the Killer Bees, Jimmy Corderas, Willow Nightingale, Megan Bain, Charles Manson, Zeta Steele, Masha Slamovich, Matt Morgan, Nyla Rose, Sam Laterna, Jason Knight, Brad Maddox. Hollywood Haley J. The 6-hour event, running from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., promises to be an unforgettable experience for wrestling enthusiasts. But the real question everyone's asking is whether we'll witness a reconciliation between two of the 1990s biggest stars, or if their decades-long Cold War will continue indefinitely. So here's what I want to know. Do you think Bret Hart should finally forgive Goldberg after all these years? Or is his continued anger justified, given what he lost? Is there such a thing as holding a grudge too long? Or are some injuries, both physical and professional, simply unforgivable? And most importantly, if you were attending this event, would you try to get them in the same photo together? Or would that be crossing a line? Share your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Bret or Team Goldberg in this decades-long wrestling controversy?